Okay, we have a special treat. We have Coach Jerry Hunter on the line with us, the Laney Wildcats coach. Laney had a big win last night over the Thomasville Bulldogs to advance to the Elite Eight in the Class AA state tournament. And, Coach, congratulations.
Hey, thanks, Chad, man.
And thank you for being with us. I guess my first question is about, how you feel after a big game like that, how the players feel, and how you go about turning around and getting focused and prepared for Saturday.
Well, our main thing last night was, after we did, we were blessed to get the victory. I made sure the guys understand that, it was okay to feel good, man, but, now's not the time to celebrate. And, we've had big games throughout this season, and that's pretty much the concept that we've always promoted with these guys because, it's easy to celebrate, jump up and down, but, hey, we got to get back at it Saturday, man.
That's right. Now, you had a great crowd last night, very supportive, and do you feel like the players drew some inspiration from that?
Oh, yeah. The biggest thing was, before the game last night and all this week we've been telling the seniors, we've been telling them that this was going to be their last high school basketball game in Augusta. Yeah. And once you put that in perspective, man, it became reality that, this will be the last 32 minutes you guys will play basketball in Augusta. So, with that being a motivational tool as well as playing at home in the second round against a team that, they're coming in, that, our guys felt like, we were the underdogs just because of the hype behind Thomasville, man. But, once they got out there, they became resilient at the right times, man, and they defended the home front.
Yeah, and you mentioned those seniors, and they played wonderfully. The backcourt of Dres Newton and Jamie West, they're always, reliable, and Shaquille Cook's always very reliable. But I was struck by the effort and the contribution made by Glenn Rodriguez and Daquan Taylor. Do you want to, and also, of course, Shaquille, being, those three guys playing against that tall front line of the Bulldogs. Were you impressed with their play?
Yeah. I was very impressed with Glenn, and of course they called Cook, but Glenn, he and I, we had spoke earlier, and I told him, man, someone on this team has to sacrifice something in order for these other guys to understand how important winning is, and he chose to be that guy, and Glenn has a very, very unique character, and he stepped up last night at some very crucial times, but he was the one that said, man, look, I know how it feels to lose in the second round in football, okay? So once he said that to those guys, and it really meant something to him because he actually knows how it really feels. So, he said, man, I can tell, that it's not a good feeling, and if we're going to win, man, we're going to have to work hard in practice, but we also have to understand how important it is to pay attention to small details.
Yes, and he did that, with all those, tall players out there. Glenn at 6'1" was the one that came up with the big offensive rebounds and the putbacks and some defensive plays. So we're really, really proud of him and enjoyed watching him play last night. I know that Saturday, Morgan County, a formidable opponent. You've played them once already. I assume that you're kind of tearing that game plan up and starting from scratch, or is that not the case?
Oh yeah, of course. We'll watch the film. We have observed it before, but we always want to get better, and we felt as though since the last time we played them, we have gotten better. But of course, they have film on us too, so they're going to try to deny us to do what we want to do best, but we also understand the importance of defense, man. So no matter how you draw the X's and O's up, man, you still have to play defense.
Yes, that's correct. Now, do you anticipate the Laney faithful making the trip, or at least a good portion of them Saturday?
Yeah. Normally, I anticipate a fan bus going on, maybe one, maybe two. Normally, whenever we travel, a fan bus travels anyway with us during our regular season games. So, with the boys and the girls being in the Elite Eight, I'm sure that we'll have some support.
I'm sure you will, too. It doesn't get any better than the Wildcat faithful. And then one little tiny thing, I noticed at the end of the game when you had a lead and the clock was ticking down, we talked a lot about Glenn tonight, Glenn Rodriguez. He kind of got a little breakaway, and it looked like he slipped up a little bit. He's not he's not sore or nursing an injury after that, is he?
No, I always tease Glenn. Glenn dunks in practice all the time, but I always get on him about finishing above the rim. during the game, man, it didn't surprise me because, Glenn is Glenn, but when he slipped, of course, I wanted to make sure he didn't get hurt just because, we play in 2 days. But he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah, good. That's great to hear. That was my concern. I was hoping he'd be 100%. So, well, Coach, fine job these past 2 seasons. I told somebody that I interviewed yesterday that I think we can count the number of times that you've gone down on one hand. And, if that's not true, then it's close enough to being true. And we're very proud of the Laney Wildcats, and we wish you the greatest of luck, and we look forward to following you all the way through. So congratulations, and thank you for being with us.
Hey, thanks for the support, Chad.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, take care.
Okay, we have a special treat this morning. We have assistant coach at Laney, Buck Harris, on the line with us. Buck is an old friend of the Augusta Basketball Report and an old friend of pretty much everybody in Augusta that has anything to do with basketball over the last 20, 25 years. Buck, thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem, Chad. Thanks for having me.
Yes, great win last night. Congratulations. Played a very tough team. Huge front line, good point guard on the Thomasville Bulldogs team. Can you tell us a little bit about what you did to hold such a good team to 37 points last night?
Well, we were lucky and we were blessed, Chad. And what we wanted to do was play the way we normally play. We wanted to get up and extend pressure early, and switch defenses on them and go from man to zone. And when we felt like we could wear him down, we wanted to deny the point guard the ball. Don't let him get it at all, and see who else could initiate their offense. And going into the fourth quarter, we felt that was the best time to do that. And it just so happened it worked out, and he got frustrated, and they couldn't get him the ball, and we were able to give ourselves a little cushion throughout the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I think, your guards make shots, and they can score, but the thing that throughout every game that we've watched consistently that you guys seem to be able to rely on is just gritty, tough play by all the players and really good teamwork and unselfish play. Do you agree with that?
I do, and one thing that we wanted those kids to take in from day one was team defense and helping each other. And basically one of our mottos is TTE, in which we say total team effort. On both ends of the floor, we expect them to be unselfish on the offensive end and to play together on the defensive end. So, last night was a huge challenge considering that Thomasville started 6'7", 6'8" on the front line and a 6'5" wing and a 6'5", 230 post player, football player who was very physical. And our guys answered the challenge. Defensively, we held a team like that to 37 points, and we were proud of that effort, so we were able to move on to Savannah.
Yeah, I would be proud too. It's funny you call out all those the size statistics for the other team, and watching the game, it's amazing. You see early Jamie West hits a couple threes and gets you going, but for a good stretch of time, a lot of your offense came on the offensive boards from Glenn Rodriguez. I want to say he's probably 6'1", 6'2". You can correct me if I'm wrong. He came up with a lot of big buckets, and also, of course, Shaquille Cook, who always does a great job down low. Do you want to speak about the inside play of those guys who might not be as tall but have pretty big hearts?
Glenn's heart is as big as ever. I mean, if I told Coach Hunter the other day, if the game was on the line, I wouldn't be afraid of putting Glenn on the line, even though his style is unorthodox, but he has enough heart and character to step to the line and make a big free throw for us. And he was huge. He's athletic. He's a tremendous athlete, and he helped us big yesterday. Big. He defended those guys. Whatever we wanted him to be, he did that. And Shaquille Cook, I can't say enough about him. He's only been playing high school basketball for 2 years, and he went toe-to-toe with a guy that's signed to go to North Carolina, Charlotte, and he held his own. I mean, so he's coming off a game where he had a double-double. And last night, he had some huge blocks and he scored some putbacks and he missed a couple of easies. But, for a kid that has grown in the last 2 years, I mean, he is definitely has a lot of basketball ahead of him.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head. In our highlight video, we show, Shaquille goes through the lane, gets it blocked, and I don't know if you remember, but he hustles back down the other end. And I want to say Jamie comes up with a loose ball, throws it up to Dres Newton, and you guys get a bucket going into the half. So, the hustle is just extraordinary. You're a very fun team to watch. And, so now you move on to the Elite Eight Saturday versus Morgan County, and you've played them once, but they are, just stacked with talent. Are you kind of starting over from scratch, doing your homework, or do you have anything you want to share about that?
You know, we got to start over. We can't based on what you know, when we played them on January the 16th. You know, they were pretty young. You know, they got a 10th grader who's a big kid, and they started their best player probably is a 9th grader who can really score the basketball. So, you know, we got to go back and look at some things and how we played them and how we were able to have some success and change some things up. And the one thing that we didn't have, I don't think Glenn even played in that game.
Okay.
So, but, you know, we got to look at some things. But I think one thing that we were able to do, and I watched them a little bit last night, I think they can be pressed a little bit more, and we'll go from there. We just got to contain the big fella and know where 5 is, Tukey Williams, because he's an exceptional 9th grader.